The Chicago Bears get their first dub of the 2021 NFL season as the Bears defense completely dominates the Bengals offense, winning this game by a score of 20-17 to get our first victory at Soldier Field this year. What's going on, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears post-game reaction videos, which I'll be doing every single week this year. So if you guys want more post-game reactions from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. But in today's video, guys, I'll be breaking down the game the Bears played today against the Cincinnati Bengals in our home opener. And man, this was not the game I was expecting whatsoever. Okay, I thought that if the Bears were gonna win this game against a very talented Bengals receiving core, okay, this Bengals receiving core is stacked with receiving talent, and the Bears were coming off, a game in which their own defense played horribly. Okay, last week against the Rams, our defense was so bad in that game. Okay, giving up multiple 50-plus yard touchdowns, not being good on third down, horrific tackling effort. Like, the entire defense just seemed completely lost out there the last weekend. But give credit where credit is due, guys, because Sean Desai had his boys ready to play today, okay? Our Bears defense completely dominated this game, and they're the main reason why we won this game, because our offense, again, did not put up that many points. Our offense by themselves only put up 14 points. Is it 14? Sorry, 13 points they put up by themselves, okay? Because after Andy Dalton went down, we couldn't really get much going on the offensive side of the football, okay? Even though we were moving the ball down the field, we just could not put the ball into the end zone, which I'll talk about that a little bit later, guys. But man, our defense truly picked up the tab. We had 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble as well, on top of a bunch of pass breakups, a bunch of quarterback hits. I mean, Joe Burrow had practically no time at all to throw the football on this one because he was getting killed out there by Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack, all the big bad boys up front, which they didn't earn their money last weekend, but they definitely earned their money this weekend. I mean, it was just, what a performance. Okay, I've not seen numbers like this from the Bears defense since probably 2018, okay? And obviously, I'm not trying to compare this defense right now to 2018, but the dominance, man, the vibes, like, I have not seen that here in a long time. And a lot of people thought it might be gone forever, right? With Vic Fangio no longer being here, with a lot of our talent also not being the same anymore. But Sean Desai, man, I have to give him credit, okay? His defense was looking amazing out there, okay? The tackling effort was a lot better today. Players looked ready to ball. I mean, they were put in great position also to make plays. So I just like the aggressive style of defense that Sean Desai was playing today, because going up against a Bengals offense that had Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, like, it was a lot to ask out of our defense to cover all these guys, but we somehow did it, guys. We only allowed 3 points until the end of the fourth quarter. And also on one of the touchdowns that we allowed, that was after a pretty bad Justin Fields interception in our own territory, which you can't really do much there as a defense, okay? You're already backed up. So that I don't really fault the defense for that much. So pretty much I only fault them for allowing 10 points against a very explosive Bengals receiving core. So talking about some of the plays our defense made in particular, one of them was a forced fumble by Eddie Jackson. Okay, he got his hands in there on a pass caught by T. Higgins, but he forced the ball out. Tashawn Gibson recovered the ball, and that was a forced fumble for the Chicago Bears, which also changed the momentum there, right? Because we were coming off a punt. The Bengals had a field goal before that, so the Bengals could have gotten a drive going there, but Eddie Jackson got his hands in there and prevented that drive from actually turning into something, which I have to say, guys, what a bounce back performance by Eddie Jackson. Okay, this guy was slandered nonstop last week, deservedly so, because he played a pretty bad game, but just what a way to bounce back. Okay, he also had a big tackle for loss in the first half, which, by the way, guys, his tackling was so much better in this game, aside from that play at the end there in that fourth quarter where he took a bad angle again on a pass down the field. He took out Kindle Vildor in the process, so none of them could tackle the ball carrier, which was Jamar Chase. He went in there for the big explosive touchdown, which obviously that's going to hurt Eddie Jackson's performance overall a little bit, but still, guys, like, for the most part, I like what I saw out of Eddie Jackson. It was a much better performance than I saw last weekend. But then right after the Eddie Jackson forced fumble, Roquan Smith, okay, gets a pick 6 on the next Bengals offensive possession, which, guys, that completely changed the outcome of this entire game. Okay, if Roquan did not get that pick 6, we probably would have lost this game with how bad our offense was playing out there. Okay, we couldn't score any points in the second half for the most part, right? So to get that pick 6, man, which, by the way, guys, obviously that was a horrible throw by Joe Burrow, just threw it directly at Roquan Smith. Okay, so that was probably the easiest interception Roquan Smith will ever have. But guys, to have the speed to run it all the way back into the end zone, also running over Joe Burrow in the process. Put some respect on Roquan Smith's name, guys. Okay, this guy was not even voted to be a top 100 player in this entire league. The craziest thing I've ever seen, probably the biggest snub I've ever seen. But this guy, man, he's one of the top linebackers in the NFL. He also had a sack today, was phenomenal in coverage. I mean, what else does this guy have to do to earn respect? Okay, he keeps on balling out every single week. So what a play by Roquan Smith, man. And then the very next Bengals offensive possession, cornerback number 1, Jalen Johnson, decides to join in on the fun and get an interception of his own, which I have to say, guys, Jalen Johnson, man, he played a phenomenal game out there today. And he had some pretty tough assignments too, okay? He was on Jamar Chase at one point. He was on T. Higgins at some points. He was also on Tyler Boyd. So he was covering a lot of different people, and he was just balling out, okay? He had 4 passes defended. Obviously 1 interception, which I have to say, guys, that interception was a thing of beauty, okay? He read that route the entire way. He chose the right time to make a break on that ball, and it paid off for him, okay? Because that resulted in his first interception of his entire NFL career, which hopefully the first of many, guys. Like, this guy has been making a lot of plays on the ball. He just has not been able to put his hands on the ball and make it go the other way, but he finally did in today's game. So really happy with the performance of Jalen Johnson, man. I mean, this guy's only 22 years old. He's getting better every single week, and I just cannot wait for the future of the Bears defense with this guy as cornerback number 1. But then obviously the very next possession after that, we get yet another interception, which at this point, guys, like, I'm just completely losing my mind. Like, I cannot believe what's actually happening out there. How are we getting so many picks, so many turnovers back to back, right? And what happened on that play was that Alec Ogletree came screaming up the middle, forcing Joe Burrow into a very tough spot, and he threw the ball directly to Angelo Blackson's hands, which this guy is a defensive lineman. So we got a big boy INT as well on top of all this dominance. So, man, just what a fun performance today by the Bears defense. Like, obviously the energy was there, the vibes were there, the dominance was there. We had 4 sacks. Khalil Mack was out there making plays. Robert Quinn was out there also making plays. We had good run defense too. Joe Mixon really couldn't get the run game going that much. So I have to say I'm very impressed by the Bears defense. Okay, obviously we have to build on top of this now. This can't be just a one-time thing. Okay, so we have to keep the same energy when we play the very talented Cleveland Browns offense next week. But if this is a sign of things to come, man, I'm very excited for this Bears season now, because this could actually give us a chance at making the playoffs, even if our offense has kinks in it that we have to work out. If our defense is, top 10 at least, we could win a lot of games this year, guys. So great performance by Sean Desai and the Bears defense. And now let's talk about the Bears offense, Andy Dalton, and rookie quarterback Justin Fields. Okay, and I have to say, the way this game began, okay, that first drive that we had, I thought we were going to put up a crazy amount of points on this Bengals defense. We were just completely pushing them around. Our offensive line was looking great on that first drive, okay, allowing Andy Dalton a bunch of time in the pocket. I mean, A-Rob got in there for the easy touchdown too. So, man, first drive, man, things were looking so good. But after that, Andy went down with a knee injury on the second offensive possession, which he was trying to run for the first down, but awkwardly, I think, twisted his knee or something like that. So he goes out for a little bit. Justin Fields comes in, but then Andy comes back in, I think, for one series, but he clearly looks like he's in pain. So Matt Nagy takes out Andy for the rest of the game. Justin Fields is in, which I'm pretty excited about, okay, seeing Justin Fields. Obviously not excited to see Andy Dalton hurt, okay? I hope Andy Dalton is doing well and he's okay for the future, but Bears fans are getting pretty excited about Justin Fields, but we don't score a single point of offense until the end of this game, okay? And I have to say, a lot of it obviously was not all the fault of Justin Fields. I mean, Al Robinson had probably the worst drop I've ever seen him have during his entire career in the second half, okay? Fields was going down the field. I think it would have been like a 30-plus yard touchdown right after a interception by Joe Burrow. So that would have completely changed like the momentum of this game. But A-Rob just lets the ball slip right through his hands, which I was so surprised about, guys. Like, this guy doesn't drop anything usually, but I guess he was surprised at how accurate the ball placement was, okay? Because usually he has to like jump up and dive for the ball, but this one hit him right in the hands and he couldn't catch that ball, which is truly a shame, because that would have been, game changing for Justin Fields and this offense. Okay, it would have made Justin Fields' numbers look a lot better, because that was obviously a great throw by Fields. Fields also had another great throw to Mooney, where Mooney was on a crossing route going towards the left sideline. It would have been a big play for this offense, a momentum shifter. And, Fields threw a pretty good ball to Mooney, but Mooney could not make a play on it and let the ball drop, okay? And that's just so out of character for both Mooney and A-Rob to be doing. Both of them only had like one drop last year. So to see them having drops, crucial drops in this game, those would have added to Justin Fields' stat line. So if you just look at Fields' stat line, that obviously does not tell the whole story, okay? Only looking at the 60 yards, only looking at the 1 interception. There were some flashes of brilliance today by Justin Fields, okay? At the end of this game on 3rd down, he pretty much iced the game with his legs, okay? Breaking a tackle, going to the left, and getting in there for the 1st down, which a lot of people in this league cannot do because they don't have the speed that Justin Fields has. So obviously with his legs, Justin Fields was phenomenal in this game, avoiding sacks, trying to get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs. With his arm, obviously he left a little bit to be desired. He threw a very bad interception at the end of this game, which was totally on him, okay? He just misread the linebacker and where he was, and he threw a ball that could have honestly lost us this game. So that's a rookie mistake that he definitely cannot repeat because those are game-losing plays, okay? So you have to be better out there. He also made some other mistakes like that fumble where he didn't have 2 hands on the ball. He's trying to make a play, but he didn't see the linebacker behind him, and that could have been very bad, okay? That could have been a fumble 6, but fortunately the ball bounced his way and Fields got to recover that ball. But again, you have to have better ball security there. He also was a little bit slow on some of his reads because he obviously is a rookie, guy, so he's not going to be at the same level of mental processing as the other, veterans in this league just yet, okay? He still has to see a lot more defenses. He still has to get actual first team reps in practice, okay? He didn't have any going into this game, and that really hurt him in this game because him and his center were not on the same page whatsoever, okay? Mustafa and Justin Fields were not on the same page at all, which resulted in multiple false start penalties for this offense, and specifically also for Justin Fields, okay? You rarely see false start penalties on the quarterback, but it happened in this game because Justin Fields did not know when to expect the ball. He was expecting the ball a little bit too soon, and he just does not have the reps to, get through that, okay? So again, that's another reason why I was so pissed at Matt Nagy for not giving Fields any starting reps in practice, okay? Trey Lance got some starting reps in practice just so that he would be ready to fill in for Jimmy Garoppolo when Jimmy goes down or if Jimmy does not play well. So that's what Kyle Shanahan did, but Matt Nagy did not do that. It's showing right now, okay? Fields and his offensive line are not on the same page just yet. And obviously, a rookie is going to make mistakes, guys, okay? So that interception was very, very bad, and you hope that doesn't happen in the future. But I want to calm down a little bit on hating too hard on Fields. Like, I saw some people on Twitter already saying that we made the wrong decision trading up for Fields. Like, what the heck, guys, okay? It's his first game as a starter. He didn't even start this game officially, okay? So he came in the middle of the game, wasn't fully prepared because he didn't have the proper reps in practice, okay? You can expect a much different situation the rest of the season if he's actually going to be starting for the rest of the season, which is a possibility now, guys, because I saw Matt Nagy in his post-game press conference. He didn't commit to Andy Dalton being the starter anymore, okay? A reporter asked about if Andy Dalton is still the starter next week, but he just said that he's not going to talk about that right now, which is definitely a very big shift in mood from Matt Nagy, because usually he's been pretty adamant about saying that Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback right now, but now he's not actually saying that. So we'll see what happens next week if Andy Dalton is in, if Justin Fields is in. But regardless, I just want to say, like, don't hate too hard on the rookie just yet. He owned up to his mistakes. He said that I did not play as well as I wanted to. So obviously he knows that he did not play a good game out there today, but he is going to get a lot better in the future, guys, with time. So overall, man, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, guys. Not a great performance by our offense. We got off to a hot start, but we didn't sustain that start on the offensive side of the football. But on defense, man, it was a totally different story, okay? Forcing 4 turnovers, getting 4 sacks as well, our pass rush being dominant the entire day. What a bounce back performance, guys. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about this game. I'll be back with my prediction video for next week in a couple days. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.